than your body. Know this, Arjuna, he tells him, and now I'm going to go to the story of the battle. Know this, and nothing can harm you. You will not be afraid. You will not be afraid when you know this truth. And that's why Master Shivananda and all the great masters tell us, just by this practice, fear leaves you, anger leaves you, everything leaves you. But you got to do the practice. I'm so sorry. There's no easy way out. I can't do it for you. I would love to. People tell me, do you have a wand? Can you get me better? No. I can encourage you. I can inspire you. I can show you all the ropes. But I cannot do it for you. I cannot do it for you. I wish I could. I really wish I could. It'd be so easy. Life would be so simple. But then the journey, the joy is in the journey. Really it is. When you see your battles and you conquer them one by one, and you see your weaknesses and you overcome them one by one, you really get to like you. You get to like you. But you don't get to like you in an arrogant way. You get to like you as a spiritual person. So you connect with that energy that is divine. Because that divine energy is just given us this life to experience, as Shakespeare said, actors on the stage. So with this power, you know how to act. That's all. How to act. So let us continue with the war. So anyway, so the Dhritarashtra's sons are now becoming more and more jealous of Pandu's 5 sons. So the eldest son is of Dhritarashtra. They're called the Kauravas. These are very famous words that you will, if you Google Bhagavad Gita, Kauravas, Pandus. So it's good to hear them. Then you get used to how they're pronounced and said. So the Kauravas, the eldest of the Kauravas, was Duryodhana, who was the one that was the most jealous because he was the eldest. And he wanted everything. And he wanted everybody to love him the most. Because he worked just as hard as Yudhishthira and the other guys. Why do they get all the praise? Why do they get everything? So together with his uncle, who was a troublemaker, Sakuni is his name, they discover Yudhishthira, although a wonderful person. Now look, good people have bad faults. I love this. Yudhishthira has a weakness. Guess what his weakness is? Gambling. Interesting, right? So anyway, so they plot. Okay, let's pretend to be really nice to them. Let's get, Yudhishthira is, very honorable, full of integrity, but he has this weakness. So we'll invite him and say, let's make amends, and let's get along together, let's work together, and let's start together with a nice game of, for example, rummy or whatever it is, or bridge or whatever it is, and let's get together. And they said, during the game, we'll throw the dice, we'll cheat. We'll make sure he loses every time. So they plot, and they very nicely go to Yudhishthira, the eldest son, the most gentle, the most loving. Goes, Yudhishthira, come, bring your whole family. Let us make peace. Let us work together as brothers. And Yudhishthira is so happy to hear those good words. Beware of wolves in... I'm so glad you know that. Yeah, that's where it comes from, right? Wolves in sheep's clothing. So when people are not very nice to you and suddenly they want to pretend to be so nice, beware. Isn't that life, truthfully? Have you seen that? That's happened to me many times. Has it happened to you? Many, many times. It's really interesting, And so it's really, really down to earth. And when you read these stories, and oh my God, this has happened to me. Anyway, so... And Yudhishthira is so I just want peace, I just want joy. So his brothers, he's got Bhima, he's the second brother. He's very big and very strong, and he has the power of 100 men. And then you've got Arjuna, who is the middle brother, who is neither so good neither so bad, but the greatest of warriors on earth. Okay, he's known for that. Then you got Nakula and Sakula, and both of them are just honest, good people who do whatever the brothers say and very honorable. So the 5 of them are married, and this is really interesting, to one woman called Draupadi. So this woman had 5 husbands, and this is the story. You see, in those days, what happened was, and I'll go to, the Marbella is so interesting when you read it. In those days, like for example, Kunti was the mother of these 5 sons. So one day, Arjuna goes out and he meets Draupadi, who's a princess, and they fall in love. And so he comes home and he says, Mom, I have something to tell you. I have something to tell you. I'm so happy. And she goes, before you tell me anything, remember, I want one promise. What promise? What promise? That you have to share whatever you have with your brothers. Because I can't promise you that, so you have to promise me that. Mom, it's a woman. It doesn't matter, you have to share. So anyway, that's Draupadi, and they all loved her so much. They all adored her. But of course, the closest one to her was Arjuna. So anyway, they bring Draupadi there, Kunti, the mother, is there. This big party, there's this game that starts. Now Lord Krishna appears on the scene. Lord Krishna is one of their cousins, and he has a whole kingdom of his own. He's so wealthy, and everybody respects him as the greatest guru of the time. In fact, they recognize him as an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, as an avatar. They actually recognize him as that. But you know, when you have a master living near you all the time in a personal human body, sometimes you forget that they're so highly evolved. Because you take them as friends, right? Because they're here in a human body. So on one hand, they recognize the divinity, and on the other hand, they took Lord Krishna as just a cousin who was very wealthy. You know, because it's hard to see it in a human body. So anyway, he attends, and the game starts. And of course, Yudhishthira keeps losing, and he keeps betting, and he keeps betting, and his brothers are telling him, stop. No, you know, I'm invincible, you know, the gods love me, so no harm can come to me. He keeps gambling, see, overconfidence, yeah? On a weakness, overconfidence on a weakness, watch out for it, you know? And many addicts will tell you that. Many addicts, people addicted to things, they'll say, you know, when we get over addiction, when we get overconfident and think, I can have a drink now, can have a cigarette now, have the drugs now, is really dangerous. Because what happens? They fall into the pit. Have another one, have another one, have another one, have another one, until it's too late. So this is what happened to, and this is my interpretation, by the way. I didn't read this in books, because I see that in modern day. So, because why else would you gamble everything away? It doesn't make sense to me. So it has to be an addict's mind to do that. So he gambles everything away. And the last thing is left is Draupadi, his wife. And so the brothers are saying, you can't do this, and the soldiers are holding back the brothers. Bhima is getting really angry at his brother. How dare you do this? And this is one of the most famous stories you will hear from the Mahabharata, okay? You will hear it. Now that I've told you, BBC did a whole story on a whole, series on the Mahabharata, I think about maybe 15 years ago. So you may Google it and you may find it. So anyway, this story. So he gambles her away. And they said, we don't want her. But because Duryodhana was so jealous, he said, we want to make you all feel ashamed. We're going to strip her. So the brothers say, no, Yudhishthira says, just leave her alone, please don't do it. And Krishna stands up and says, this is not correct what you are doing. You cannot do this to your cousins. You have cheated. But Krishna is symbol of neutrality. he's telling them they don't listen to him. He can't take sides, but he's telling them, don't do this horrible thing. So, but Duryodhana doesn't listen, calls his soldiers, and they start stripping Draupadi from her sari. And you know, Indian saris are 5.5 meters. Did you know that? 5.5 meters long. So they start stripping her and just going, no, please, don't, please, help me, please. And the sari is coming off. And then she looks at Krishna, and then he looks at her, and she goes, why am I worried? So she puts up her hands, and she said, Lord Krishna, I'm in your hands, save me. And guess what? When she gives up and lets go, they can't pull the sari, they can't. It's like the meters keep coming out, and there's beautiful descriptions and beautiful photos of this if you look at the text. People have painted this scene again and again and again for generations, and they can't. So till the men get so tired and they fall off the ground. So now they stop, and so Duryodhana tells all the brothers, well, you've lost all your kingdom to me, and goodbye, go away. And Lord Krishna says, please, what you have done is wrong. At least give them some kind of condition so they can get that. Give them some way of getting their property back. Give them some way to make amends. They've made a mistake, they've lost it, I know you've cheated, but give them some way. Don't just throw them, because your karma will be terrible. So Duryodhana agrees, he discusses this with Shakuni. And he goes, okay, for 12 years, you are exiled to the forest. On the 13th year, nobody should even see you. If you are recognized, then you will not get your kingdom back. But after 13 years, if you can apply to these rules and stick to them, we promise you will give you everything you have owned back, everything. So, defeated, Yudhishthira said, it's only honorable. We have no choice. We've lost everything. And they go off into the forest. Now, the 12 years in the forest, I have seen in my life, when I have done consultations with people, I normally see that they have 12 years of lots of things happening to them. Transitional period, I call it. And when I count the years when they have this transitional period of suffering, of pain, of finding themselves, it's normally 12 years. And incognito, 13 years, represents to me the 13 years who they thought they were, they have now realized they are not. They're far greater. And this is my relationship with the Gita through my work in counseling. All right, this is personal learning from what I have read in this book. And I've seen this again and again and again. People seem to go through a strange phase of 12 years and then they come out of it. You know, it happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. And on the 13th year, I started meditation, and that changed my life. So I'm really grateful for these tools. But those 12 years were necessary for me to learn humility, forgiveness, compassion, understand pain, understand loss, understand all these things. Otherwise, I couldn't be talking to you from here. I couldn't if I didn't go through that stuff. I needed to, as we all need to grow up. It's just to grow up. And to grow up to be spirit and not just so physically human, but spirit in our humanity. You know, spirit in our humanity. So the 12 years living in a forest for princess and royalty, it's very hard. They were used to all the luxury. They didn't have it. But because of Yudhishthira's repentance, he tried to do so much for his brothers and they finally forgave him. Draupadi was angry and bitter, but she even learned, you know, and this, if you read the Mahabharata, it goes much deeper. I'm just breaking it down simply. she goes through her bitterness over the years, how angry she is at Yudhishthira for doing that to her, and to the brothers who just stood back while she was being stripped. Does it remind you of yourself when your friends let you down? And then you feel you've been stripped of everything. They've promised to help you, etc. And when you're really in trouble, everybody's gone. So that's how she felt. And so when you read the story, you see lots of similarities with life. But they got through the 12 years. They prayed a lot. They meditated a lot in the forest. They looked into their lives and they realized, okay, now we're going to do this. We are responsible for our brother's actions. So they worked together. And during those 12 years, Duryodhana sent many people out to try and find them. The ones they lived in a house, and they tried to burn them down. But every time they were saved, because so many people loved them. So they had lots of spies around of the 5 good brothers, not because they asked them to be spies, but because people loved them so much, they realized the mistake and they wanted to protect them. So each time some adversity was coming, they would get some blessing. For the night that they sent the house to be burnt down, one of their cousins came over and said, the king is Duryodhana is planning to burn you all up and kill you all. Please run away. And I found a back door and we've got a passage for you sorted. And they escaped. And on the 13th year, they had disguises, so they were never discovered. So after 13 years, they came back and they said, we have done our penance. Give us back our property that you promised. Now observe your integrity as we have ours. And Duryodhana said, you see this needle? You see the edge? It will not even give you one spot of your land back. After the terrible 13 years. And the mother said, now we have to fight. We have to fight to get it back. Go to Krishna. Go to Lord Krishna and ask his advice. You must fight. Because this is wrong. This is evil. So Arjuna went to Duryodhana and said, please give us our land back. We don't want to go into warfare. Please, I really don't want this war. We've done everything. You say, please, he pleaded and goes, no, if you want it back, war. And I will also go to Lord Krishna to ask his help. So Lord Krishna knew all this that was happening. So he expected the 2 brothers to see him. So he was nicely pretending to lie down. Again, a very famous scene. And it's also been painted many, many times. He's lying down on this beautiful chaise lounge, pretends to be sleeping. Duryodhana enters arrogantly and sees a chair just behind Lord Krishna's head, and he sits on the chair. Arjuna comes just after him. And in the Hindu custom, you never sit before an elder tells you, especially an elder of that quality. You wait till they see you and ask you to sit down, then you sit down. So Arjuna was graced in this teaching and respectful teaching. So he stood at the feet of Lord Krishna. And then Lord Krishna opens his eyes. Hi Arjuna, what can I do for you? And Duryodhana, hey, Lord Krishna, I came first. You should ask me first what I want. He said, look, you may have come first, but I opened my eyes. I was sleeping when you both came. I opened my eyes and the first one I saw was Arjuna. I'm neutral. I have to go with the one I saw first. So he goes, what is it? So they explained to him about the war. Lord Krishna said, please do not go into war. Give him back his land. No. So he said, okay, being your cousin and being who I am, I can offer 2 things. I can offer all my armies, or I can offer myself. Choose. Arjuna, you came first. You choose. So Arjuna goes, Lord Krishna, I know who you are. I know without you nothing works. So I choose you. What use are all your armies without you? I choose you. So Duryodhana is really quite happy, and he goes, what a fool this Arjuna is. I have all the armies, and I will defeat Arjuna and his family. And again, if you look at the analogy there, but what does it benefit a man to gain the whole world at the cost of his soul? And that's exactly what it says. For what does it benefit a man? And this is what most people do. We will fight for the money, fight for the property, fight for this and fight for that. And during that, we lose our soul. We gain anger. We gain fear. We gain jealousies. And what does it benefit at the end of the day? So, but then again, this war came to him. Didn't want it. It came to him. He had to fight. And he understood this. So he said to Krishna, will you come in my chariot and drive my chariot for me? He said, I will drive your chariot for you, but I will not fight. I will not fight. However, at the end of the war, he does. He takes the energy and helps Arjuna in every way possible. Because he realized Duryodhana has broken all the rules. Anyway, after all this has happened, Lord Krishna goes to Duryodhana. He goes to Duryodhana's house and he goes, give it one more try. Let me speak to Duryodhana. So Duryodhana gets a phone call or a telegram or whatever it was in those days from Lord Krishna saying, I'm coming to have tea with you. I need to talk to you. So Duryodhana goes, I know what Krishna is going to tell me. He's going to tell me again that I shouldn't do this and I'm breaking all the spiritual laws. But what does he know? So he builds a throne, and what he does is he puts a nice cover in it. Underneath is a tunnel, a hole in the ground, and he thatches it. So when Krishna comes, he's thinking he'll invite Krishna to sit in it, he'll fall in the hole, and he'll seal off the hole. So he'll imprison Krishna. So even though he recognized that Krishna is from that kind of special energy, his greed is so much that he's forgotten. So he thinks he can kill God. Okay? So Krishna already knows all this is going to happen. So when he invites him to sit on a throne, Krishna goes and sits. But because of his powers, he levitates. He levitates, pushes the straw, and there is the hole. And he looks at Duryodhana and he said, Now, there is no hope for you. Now, there's no hope for you. And he goes. And the whole scripture starts then on the battlefield. And this is the story of most of our lives. Our scripture starts on our battlefields. They're on a battlefield. All the armies with Duryodhana. Arjuna and his brothers managed to get quite a few armies to join him from different kingdoms. They'd gone all over around. The people who had known them from the past said, this is wrong, joined them. And when Arjuna sees across the field his grandfather, some of his cousins, and all the family there, he goes, Lord Krishna, I cannot fight. Who would I be killing? I'd be killing my own people. I cannot fight. Isn't it better for me to go to the mountain and meditate? Isn't that what you teach? Why can't I don't want to go to battle. I don't want to kill anyone. I don't want to kill my grandfather. I don't want to kill my teacher. My teacher's on the other side. Dronacharya is my teacher. I love him. And then you may ask, why all these people on the other side? All these good people, why are they on the opposite side? Because they lived in the palace with these guys. They had an obligation to them. They lived off their money, they lived off their... See, and this is why Sri Patanjali, it says, do not accept gifts that are not given purely and beautifully with love. Only accept those gifts because you have a price to pay. When people bribe you and give, I give you this, do this for me, don't accept it because you are caught as a prisoner for the rest of your life. You are always owing somebody. So, Lord Krishna, I don't want to fight my own family. And Lord Krishna says, where does this cowardice come from? You are a warrior. You are not fighting because you want to fight. You have a duty now. You have a duty now. If you allow unrighteousness to carry on in this world, how are people going to learn? You are the best warrior of all. You've been given this karma, whether you like it or not. You've been given it. And you've been chosen to do this. So think of it as an honorable war and not a war of killing. Think of it as a war of righteousness. If you don't do what is right, then these people will rule the kingdom and in a way that is not correct. They will teach the nation. In the Bhagavad Gita, it actually says it. Whatever a great man does, everybody will follow. So if you have a crook in the top of politics, the nation will follow. If you have a good man in the top of politics, good people will follow. Right? He said, you want your brother to do this? You have no choice. You have to fight. And so Arjuna goes, my legs are shaking, my mouth is parched. I am filled with fear. I do not want to do this. And then he starts giving all the excuses of why he shouldn't fight. And then Lord Krishna smiles at him. He said, don't worry. Don't worry. And he tells him, this battle will be won. Whether you fight or not, it has to be won. In other words, good will always overcome evil. You have been chosen to do this great honor. And how should you fight? First of all, know that you are soul and spirit. First lesson to know. And you are not fighting them. You are fighting for righteousness. You are not going to attack them. You are going to protect that which is good. It's a big difference. In other words, in all our lives we have a battle. And we always have to choose angel, demon, angel, demon. And this whole text, on reading it, will guide you on what to choose, how to fight. If you have a battle, sometimes you have to battle, sometimes you don't want to battle, and you have to battle. Many such people I have met. Recently we're in London, we met somebody, and she'd been wrongly accused of many, many things. We had a lovely chat with her. And she said, should I just leave the fight? Even though they're all lies, because... And we had to tell her, no, you have to be Arjuna, you have to fight. Because you're not fighting for yourself, you're fighting for truth. You're fighting for goodness. Sorry this battle has come to you. She's not a woman who likes to fight. She just wants to work and do good things. But it's come to her, what can she do? So we said, stick to the higher power, which she's very spiritually with. This is the biggest battle that is coming to you in your life, because the universe honors you and the work you are doing. Happens to all great people, right? I have one thing that I'd like to read, read some of the slokas. They're beautiful. They are just so beautiful. If you want to get it, it's available on Amazon. I don't know if we have we've sold out. Yeah. It's the Living Gita by Swami Satchidananda, and this is the essence of the Gita. The whole book basically asks these questions and answers them. Why are you unnecessarily worrying? Whom do you fear? Who can kill you? Soul is not born, nor does it die. What has happened for the best. What is happening for the best. What will happen for the best. Do not brood over the past. Do not worry about the future. The present is on. Mindfulness. Today they call it mindfulness. This is an ancient teaching. The present is on. Stop worrying. Dale Carnegie. Stop worrying and start living. Have you read the book? It's amazing. Really lovely. What have you lost that you are weeping? What have you brought that you have lost? What have you made that has been destroyed? You brought not anything. What you have, you got from here. What was given here. What you took from this universe. You have come empty-handed and shall go empty-handed. What is yours today was somebody else's in the past and will be somebody else's in the future. You think it is yours and you are deeply engrossed in it. This attachment is the cause of all your sorrow. Change is the law of life. What you call death is life itself. In a moment you are a millionaire. In the next you are a poor man. Mine, yours, small, big, ours, theirs. Remove this from your mind. Then everything is yours and you belong to everybody.